Q&A.
It's
Thursday.
Thursday.
It's the Q&A.
All right, what's up? It is Thursday, March 17th, 2022. Welcome to the Zodiac Chatline. I am your host today, and I have Cassie with me, of course.
Hey.
Duh. What up, girl?
Not much. How you doing?
You know what? Making it. I am making it. Taking a lot of deep breaths, you know?
Amen to that.
So, how about you?
I'm great. I'm going to give my quick top of the show, top of the evening to you. Shout out.
Shout out
to my Phelan McDermott, or I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. McDermott Syndrome Foundation shirt.
All right.
They are an organization that's bringing attention to Phelan McDermott syndrome, which is a rare genetic condition. And if you want to find out more information about them, I'm going to drop their website in our show notes, along with all the places you can follow them on social media. But the foundation was kind enough to agree to let me wear this incredibly soft, comfy shirt. And if you're moved by their mission, they're trying to get funding for research because this is a newly discovered disease that has tremendous effects on the young people who are afflicted with it. And so, check them out. It's a good cause if you want to support. Throw some karma in your karma bank before we start the astrological new year. You know what I mean? Sade?
I love how you tied it back in. I love that. All right. Yes. Okay. Well, we are here for spreading the word and, helping out causes that mean something to us. So shout out. It is
shout out to Megan, the Pisces queen in the chat.
What up? Oh, hey, Megan. Happy Pisces season, girl. I like that you have 131. That means a lot to me. So speaking of Pisces season, it is coming to a close. And before it does, we got this full moon in Virgo to contend with. So I will say that Cassie and Cassie's going to agree with me. We love full moons. Full moons feel really good. They can sometimes be overwhelming because just like you get full, a moon can get full. And emotions can outpour or stay bottled in, but it's just let them out, right? And so this is the last full moon of the astrological sign. So I would say think back to last year. The Virgo new moon was in September 6th of 2021. So kind of assess where those are, and you kind of come back to that. For me, it's like meditation and a lot of just grounding,
I'm with you. Yeah. I agree 100%. Normally, big fan of full moons. Big fan. This one hitting a little different. Not gonna lie. Coral asked when we were on our pre-call if I thought it was because I'm a water sign and this is the Pisces season full moon. Probably. Yeah. Generally, I think I'm more emotional during water sign transits. But also, I think the energy of Virgo, which is so analytical, and we have all of this dreamy Pisces energy. This moon is directly opposite Pisces in Neptune. So normally on a Virgo full moon, my thought process would be, okay, full moons are good for trying to do big magic. If you have something in particular you're trying to manifest, I don't have anything like that. I have a lot of things I'm steadily working on, but nothing I'm So my other thing in a full moon is releasing stuff, right? Virgo to me suggests, hey, I'll use my analytical mind, make a nice checklist of all the stuff I want to release. And my brain is scrambled eggs. I can't even get there to do that right now. So I am with you. I am grounding. I went outside. I took a walk. I touched rocks and dirt and really stood with my feet on. I didn't do barefoot on the ground outside. I'm sorry, I should have, but I did do in my house and really tried to concentrate on what my feet feel like. Just stay in my body. Because my brain is not.
I feel like Pisces season, it's very difficult to stay in your body or even in your mind, really. During Pisces season, it's pretty much you're in your emotions and you're in your illusions, or not illusions, maybe daydreams, or
no illusions,
maybe delusions. I don't know, but I'm just yeah, I'm grounding, like you said. I'm here for it. When I say saging, talking to my plants, telling them how excited I am. They're about to go back outside because it's about to be spring. But right now they are chilling in my room. But just really, I think meditation. I came home from work today and I was like, and I was like, today, just take a moment. And I went, sat in front of my altar, put on some vibrational music, and really just was like, took deep breaths and really just said, okay, you are fully present in your body. Do you know what I mean? And it's hard when you're just like, oh my God, so much is happening.
Yeah.
And we were talking about earlier how the sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune are all in Pisces right now, opposing this full moon, but Neptune specifically, which is Pisces ruler, is opposing the Virgo full moon, and that is,
it's really just, I think, amplifying that axis that exists between fantasy and reality. And for those of you out there right now, if you're wondering how to work with this full moon, I highly suggest, like, Visual Kara, shout out to that suggestion. Planting seeds, a great time. We're going to get into it with Coral, talk a little bit more about the best ways to use the moon phases for planting. But yes, getting your hands in the earth, just really, what you know to be true is your heart is beating and your arms are there and your legs are there and your breath is there, right? So stay with that stuff. And the mercurial, over analytical energy of Virgo, I think, is possible that is just going to play into your delusional Pisces season thinking if you let it. You know what I mean? So it's a matter of harnessing that, watching out for all the miscommunication that I promise you, if you have not been witnessing today, is probably going to come your way tomorrow. Work, everywhere I looked, I was just seeing people misunderstand each other, feeling myself be misunderstood, and just having to step back from it and be like, I can't control how I'm being received. Nope. Let it go. Let it go.
I read an article and it said one of the best pieces of advice, and I think this is actually a really good piece of advice, is self-compassion. And I think that is one of the qualities that Pisces and Virgo share, is their compassionate nature, and just expressed in different ways and received in different ways, but that's for sure. And I think a lot of times we forget that compassion is so important in general. And in order to, have compassion for other people, we forget, I think, a lot of times, to have compassion for ourselves. And that is a lot of times the only way you can kind of see through the haze, is having compassion for yourself, because we're not going to be perfect all the time. If you think about, sometimes Virgos are known for perfectionist thoughts or views, and it's like, even trying to be perfect, you're imperfect, because it's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be practice. It's meant to be, just learned from. And so I just really encourage everyone to practice compassion, but especially self-compassion, and, let go, like you said, things that you want to let go of, the food, let go of anything that doesn't feel like a compassionate talk to yourself. And those can be negative thoughts or negative feelings, or not feeling enough, or, just judgments of your own behaviors and own selves. And it's just like, just take a moment and have compassion, because we are just living this moment, one moment at a time. High gas prices, all this other crazy stuff going on, wars, and, WNBA players being held in Russia. I'm just saying. So with all of that said, so much compassion for everything that's going on, because we're all experiencing this we're all having different experiences with this, but we're all experiencing it at the exact same time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super real. I think that's really good advice. And, you know, as you mentioned, this is the last full moon of the astrological year. So anytime we get to markers like that, I always like to reflect on where I was about a year ago and give yourself a hug for the growth you've had and
Yes.
just let go of the, you know, if you can, the extra shit you think you might be carrying around. Or even if you can't like quite put a name to that, because that's what I'm really struggling with at this full moon is actually pinning down the energy that I'm feeling is just whatever that energy is, please let's lift it from this space. Let it be love. Let it be my highest vibration. You
That
know?
part. And again, shout out to Visual Kara up in the yes, girl up in the chat. And she spoke about meditation and sleeping and listen to Eckhart Tolle all day. And she's a Scorpio moon girl. We love y'all. We pray for y'all on a regular. I can only
That's a
imagine
lot of
the
feelings.
feelings.
From a Cancer moon, you got a lot of feelings, girl.
Yeah, with the Sagittarius sun is what she has too.
Oh boy.
Girl,
Mm-hmm.
right. But listen,
That's a
you
blessed combination.
oh my, it really is. But you have found, I feel like, you know, finding what works for you. And I encourage everyone to do that. Like you are the only person that's really going to know what works at the end. So
Mm-hmm.
find that out. And like, it just creates so much peace in your day just to have a moment of you and yourself and one in your body. And then just,
Yeah. Reset. Mm-hmm.
so you ready?
On that note,
Okay,
yeah.
right. Look, we own it. Man, I fucking love you, girl.
Right. I love
Okay.
you too. We talked about the full moon in Virgo.
Yeah.
Subject number 1, interlude 1.5. If you have any questions, astrological, full moon, what hair products are we using these days? Whatever you want to talk about, put it in the chat. You know what I mean? Part 2, plants. And to talk about plants, why we love them, how we can use the moon to help make our plant babies grow and be their strongest, we're bringing on our resident green witch and amazing producer and artiste, head graphic designer, Corel.
Boom, boom,
Hi.
boom. She here. She here.
It's me. I'm
Yes.
ready.
Hey.
We got it.
Coral is here
Let's
in
do
the
it.
house. What
Hey.
up?
All right.
And just know that she's still monitoring the chat, even though she's
I'm
a
monitoring
guest.
the chat.
She's got eyes everywhere.
I
She's
have
the
eyes
feds.
everywhere. I just turned a timer on.
Yeah.
So let's talk about plants, Coral. As between the three of us, Coral is the one that gives us the most plants. Tells us every time we need to. So guys, I want you to get your grimoires out or whatever you keep your little notes in, because Coral is about to give us a amazing lesson on plants and what we do them. So,
all right, dumb
Coral,
it down.
take it away.
Dumb
Take
it
it away,
down.
Coral.
Dumb it down a little bit.
You got it.
Not a botanist. I just want to preface everything with that. I thought about making little signs that just came up and popped up, but I also have other signs that I have to. So, anyway, planting by the moon, guys. You guys listen to these lovelies about the zodiac all day and every day. The moon has all of the pull on our feelings, on our emotions. It also has the pull on the water on the planet. So if you think about it, like not only does the sun give the energy to the plants, but the moon gives essentially the water to the plants, right? We call that the tidal force. It controls all of, like, whether it's in a pot or in the ground or, you know, in a little shelf thing, it pulls, the moon pulls the water.
I love that notion.
Tidal force. Did I say that loud enough? Tidal force.
Yeah, it sounds like a strip club when you say it that way, but I'm here for it. Go on.
It's in Panama City. Get there. All right, so tidal force, big player in a plant's life cycle. the moonlight, actually gardening, if you want to do gardening by the moonlight, I do suggest that, like at nighttime, transplanting, just planting new stuff, just because it gives the plants a little time to acclimate before the sun actually hits them. Always good stuff. But so like different moon cycles have different poles on the water on the earth. I'm moving my little sticky notes around. So.
Coral comes prepped with visual aids.
Bam! All right, so wait, right here? Should I put it there? I don't know. So basically the new moon, this one, the tidal force, it's kind of pulling up. It pulls all of the water into the seeds, like any of the water that's in the soil, in the air, in the mist. It pulls it into the seeds and helps them germinate. It increases like all of the balance in the root system also. So like as the moonlight, because the new moon, there's really no moonlight. It's pretty much dark. What do they call that? The dark moon?
Mm-hmm.
That's the dark moon phase.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 3 days of it or something.
Yeah.
So basically that just kind of like as the moon is like the moonlight is progressing, it kind of balances and resets it all. Germinates seeds, way more stable plants if you do it at that point in time. And then you've got, what do we got? Everything's backwards. All right, so then we've got the waxing crescent phase of the moon. Any of these waxing phases of the moon, though, up until the full moon, those are going to be good for like the energies expanding into the base and the stems and the leaves. So any of that extra water that's building up and pulling through as the moonlight like builds up, it also pulls all that water up into your plant. Makes it way more stabilized, way more like, where was I?
Girl.
Oh yeah.
On a journey.
No. I'm on a journey. So it goes from the roots up into the stems and stuff. It stabilizes the leaves. It's better for floweration. It's better for fruits. It's better for, yeah, just like general flowering plants. Then we get up until after the waxing phases, we get up into the full moon. And then it's like the highest of the tidal force. That's when you plant your bulbs, your root veggies, your biannuals and perennial flowers. You can transplant plants at this time and they will flourish. Not saying that as fact. Not a botanist. So then, Waning. Yeah,
She's saying it as a plant mom of a lot of plants that are healthy and living their best life in her house, as you can see behind her. So don't let her fool you.
Those are the house plants. We're talking about the fucking outside plants too. Them shits are crazy. Where are we? Waning
You're
phases.
at the full moon, so now you got to go to the waning phases. Yeah.
I need to know where this is backwards so that you guys can read it forwards, and so I'm like having trouble reading where I am on this. So we're here. We're here. We're in the waning. We're going waning gibbous to waning crescent. So right up in this area, the sap is high in the plants. Basically all of the plant's fluids are starting to drain back down into their root system. After that whole tidal force with the full moon, everything settles back down into the earth. Best time to actually like harvest, dry your plants.
Okay.
Prune some stuff if you need to. Anything that's like little and flowery that you need to cut back so it'll shoot off bigger, This is the best time to do that.
Question. Love that. First of all, thank you. Question. Do you need to water more if you're, like, let's say you have a new plant. You're not trying to cut anything off. You're just trying to get it to grow. Do you need to water it more when the moon is waning because it's losing water? Or do you keep the watering schedule the same the whole time because it should be losing water sometimes and it should be gaining it sometimes?
That depends on the plant.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Okay, so if you're planting some kind of root or something, like some kind of rooty, that was, I don't remember. Anyway, full moon. You might need to let that root, like once you plant it, that bulb, once you plant it, you might need to let it dry out first, plant it, and then water it.
So in theory, you'd dry it out maybe like right before the full moon and then plant like the bulb on the full moon and then water it during the waning moon phase.
I have it's wonderful that you ask. I have some bulbs. I can't remember, and my mom can't either, if they're lilies or gladiolus. Both bulb springtime flower plants. I planted some in my garden. They're growing. They're sprouting. They're above the ground already. 4 of them. I also have 7 more that weren't quite ready for the outside world. I just like got all the icky, gross, dry stuff off of them. It's kind of like a garlic clove. Like you just get all that dry, icky stuff off, and it's just this nice, pristine, crispy bulb. But you don't want to necessarily put that right into the dirt and then put water on it. It'll rot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you do something like that with the bulb, right now would be a good time to just like get that bulb all ready, let it dry out in a nice, cool, dark space, and then tomorrow or the next day, go ahead and plant it.
And let it chill there. Let some of it get sucked out and then water it. I love it.
Thanks.
I love it. All right.
Yeah.
What's
What
next on
else?
your agenda? Is that was
Yeah.
what we were going through? Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right. Man, what is your favorite plant that you've ever grown?
Favorite aesthetically or favorite just like because it's easy?
Overall favorite, however you interpret that. The one you've had the longest,
Well, okay, if I'm just like broadening it, my Oxalis are my favorite. That's why I gifted you 2 tubers for it.
I'm really excited. So, Oxalis, if you've never looked them up, they are cool looking, weird purple plants, and they're beautiful and they have cool flowers on them. I planted my Oxalis in the Pisces new moon. So I haven't gotten any shoots up yet. I hope I haven't,
You will.
gotten, I'm like, it's still early. I don't have a few weeks.
Mid-April, they'll be sprouting up.
Okay, all right. I'm so excited.
Cool, because I'm going to plant mine on Sunday when I'm doing the rest of my plants.
Okay. And this is a good time too because it is a bulb. It's a small bulb. So I'm like, okay, I planted at the new moon, but I think that's okay. I think she'll be all right. But the full moon is also good for those particular type of seeds. So like my smaller seedy stuff, I should start at the new moon rather than the full moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has your journey been like being a plant mom? When did you get your first plant that you felt proud about keeping alive?
Well, pothos, because that's the plant that everybody keeps alive. Like
Which one's that?
This one.
Oh, sure. Okay. I don't have one of those myself, but
I've got like 5. And they're huge. Like 2 of them are huge. Oh yeah. This is Alice.
So when did you get that?
Well, so I didn't really start dealing or getting into plants until maybe 7 years ago. When I met my husband, Boop, he actually had pothos from his mom and a rubber tree. I managed to kill the rubber tree.
I killed one of those too.
And now I have two that are flourishing. So whatever. It's all about learning the process. Doing it. You can garden, plant, and do whatever by the moon or by the zodiac signs or whatever. Do what fits your shit. Do what fits your schedule. Get plants that fit your schedule. Get plants that fit your shit. I recently got 2 plants that it's like, this is so much. I have to give y'all so much moisture for indoor plants. Like, we're getting fungus gnats, and no, you're going in a terrarium and you're getting rocks on top. So
Sometimes it feels like that.
sometimes it feels like
That's really good advice, though. And you don't really start thinking about that until you get that first plant that you keep alive, and you're like, well, how did I do that? Why does it flourish here? And there's so many interesting uses for plants in witchcraft, you know?
Yeah. Herbs.
I like a nice dried rose petal. I will pluck, if I keep something alive, I might pluck a piece of it and use it on my altar to represent my earth element, or I'll just scoop some dirt from one of my plants and put it on.
I have glass colander. No, they're not colanders. They're just like glass vases, I guess. They're like this, and I like to get dried flowers and such and stick them in it and make just make a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super cute.
yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us to talk about plants. And I hope that all of you watching think about getting a Christmas cactus or what was the one you said?
Pothos.
A pothos.
Pothos.
An air plant. Something you can keep alive, because it's good to have some greenery in your life.
Have some greenery. Aloe. Aloe's good.
There you go.
All right.
Love you, girl.
All right, bye.
Bye. See you in the chat. She's seeing all you in the chat too. Watching out for those questions. I'm so excited for spring, y'all. Talking about plants make me want to touch a leaf.
Yes, I'm here for that whole thing. I am here for it. But you gonna repeat that shit on Sunday for the spring equinox too.
I will. I'll play it back for myself later.
Just in case. Yes, guys. So on Sunday, it is the spring equinox. It is here. We have made it through winter in most places. And spring is here
It was
again.
70 degrees in Michigan today, so
Girl,
if it's 70 degrees here,
you know it's
fucking
75 down
spring.
here. Oh, right. Oh, for sure. After the 30 yesterday, but whatever, you know.
Girl.
It was foggy this morning. We talked about this earlier. That was the only thing. This morning it was foggy, and I was like, this feels like Pisces season. Okay.
Yup.
Taking my time.
We have had a ton of fog, yes.
You want to do the plantas first? And then
yeah.
Okay,
let's do it. So we have,
I love this, decided to this time do for you the signs as different plants in honor of all the knowledge we got from Coral, and because Cassie and I really love plants and we like making the signs be things, so why not plants?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start it off at the top with Aries, as we always do. Start at the top of the zodiac. And I am going to, for Aries, I said they are Dracaena. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. They were really cool looking, kind of spiky. But what I did read about them was you don't overwater them or they get angry and they drop their foliage, which sounds like an Aries, right? Too much water and they get angry.
Yeah.
So
no.
I like that for that plant, for Aries. So that was my choice. I think it's Dracaena. Cena. I think it's Dracaena. Let's
Oh,
just go with that.
okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna post all of these later,
Yes,
you guys.
and
We'll make a
please,
compilation album of plants, the
You got
zodiac
it.
plants. That's amazing. I picked for Taurus a beet. Okay. Taurus had to be a root vegetable. All right. It had to be food. I thought about potato, but I chose beet because it straight up tastes like earth.
Yeah.
Taurus is earth element. Their food should taste like earth. And it's really beautiful. Like beets are such a pretty, beautiful color. They're like very aesthetically pleasing to add to any dish, even though they're not for everybody. Not everybody likes them, but they are who they are, and they are for who they're for. And Taurus, you are delicious, beautiful beets, all of you to me.
All right. So for Gemini, I picked a spider plant.
Ooh.
And I picked the spider plant because if you see the spider plants, there's like little shoots. And what I pictured was either a Gemini's energy or how a Gemini's mind was. It's just all these little shoots, and you can take them and pluck them and replant them, and Gemini's can put a thought here. And it's just like they're kind of wispy, looking. So that was Gemini for me.
That's beautiful. And it can thrive in any situation.
Yeah.
Go in here, give one to my uncle, give one to this guy.
Adaptability. Yeah. And then like a twin, multiply.
Yeah. It's perfect. So Cancer, I picked a weeping willow. It is a tree that represents the past and nostalgia in every picture and movie. It is tears made plant. They're very flexible. They do grow near water usually. I love them also personally. I just think they're like so romantic. Something about them. They make this lovely noise. It's like comforting to be underneath one. Weeping willow all day for Cancer.
Okay. All right. So for Leo, I picked a plant called the anthurium. And this plant has heart-shaped red or pink flowers, and it loves bright indirect sun. So sounds kind of like a Leo, heart, all that stuff. Yep. And they need that sun. So, and they're actually really pretty. But that's why I picked that. I was like, heart-shaped. That says Leo all day to me.
Perfect. For Virgo, I picked a yew, which, do you know what that is? It's an evergreen, like, shrub. They're like
UWE?
YEW. U?
Yeah, that's what I meant. YEW. Okay, yeah.
If you Google them, you'll be like, oh, that's in the front yard of everywhere, right? Like, and they're really dense. They have really dense needles. They're very fine, and like they can be formed into very intricate shapes. And they're very, like, evergreens are some of the most efficient plants on Earth. They stay green all winter long because they're able to preserve their energy in these like finely tuned needles. And they're kind of prickly. They're a little prickly, but generally they're doing good things. And they're out here protecting your house from the wind, going in whatever shape you need them to go into. So Virgo's a yew. For you.
The one mutable earth.
Yes. Okay, I'm a shrub that can move in any direction.
I love it. Okay, so for Libra, I feel like this is totally self-explanatory. I picked peace lily. It's pretty. It's got shiny leaves, and it says, and Libras like to be as peaceful, and balanced as possible. But they're actually very stylish and very pretty when they bloom with the white flowers. So I think they're very good statement pieces, kind of like Libra can be.
Absolutely. They're beautiful too. Scorpio, Virgos, shrubs that think they're trees. Shout out to Visual Kara. Fire in the chat all night long.
Listen, boom, boom, and here comes Red Jones. He's like, they're prickly. It's just protecting itself from the outside energy. Tell it.
Hey, teach it like you preach it. Red Jones, right there. Scorpio is a foxglove. Foxglove is a super poisonous flower. It makes it's like a digitalis is part of its Latin name, but it's derivatives of foxgloves are used in barbiturates, and if you eat too much of it, you will die. It really messes up your heart rate, and they're very beautiful. They have very pretty flowers. They seem just lovely and unassuming, and will kill you if you do too much with them that you are not supposed to do. So treat them gently,
like a Scorpio. Whether that be a sun, moon, or rising, because Scorpio moons even more so. Treat them a lot more gently. So for Sagittarius, shout out to all the Sages up in the chat. I picked the ZZ plant because it is the king of indestructible plants. It tolerates drought, low light, and it's really low humidity. But to me, a mutable fire is mostly indestructible because it's always moving. And you can't stop that.
Nope.
So and the ZZ plant looks really cool, but for Sages, it's not holly, it's a ZZ plant.
Yeah. We're not doing you dirty like that, Sages. That's awesome. Capricorn, I picked bamboo.
Oh.
Bamboo is a valuable, economic product in many parts of the world. It is a very strong building material. It grows super fast and takes over wherever the fuck it is. Capricorn is big boss energy. So is bamboo.
Yeah. I actually have a bamboo plant over there in a container with rocks so it doesn't. But you know what his name is? Prosper.
I was going to say they also represent, they're supposed to be good luck for money, I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
Boom. Yeah. All day.
Oh, for sure. All right. So for Aquarius, I picked an aloe plant because of its many uses for healing properties, that it retains the water in its leaves. And also, no aloe plant looks exactly the same. Like they all serve, within the same context, but each aloe plant looks very different. And, they aren't as prickly as they appear because they look like they're actually really, but then you touch them and you're like, oh.
Squishy on the inside.
So squishy on the inside. That is an Aquarius all fucking day. Period.
And aloe, truly the water bearer of plants. Yes. It's just holding all of this liquid in there for us to heal us.
And all the health benefits, everything. Yeah. Multi-purpose. So
that's amazing.
Being a humanitarian as a plant,
Yes. That's right. You're damn right.
Yeah.
It had to be that or jackfruit, because also you can eat that and it's very funky looking.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so funky. And like latex on the outside, who does that?
It's crazy. Pisces, kind of an homage to your Libra. I picked a water lily.
Oh, it is
both a land plant and also not at all. It's, very much of the water. It's something that a tiny fairy mermaid would live on. And that is Pisces in a nutshell. They're so beautiful and delicate, and they're just floating right there on the water.
That's a good one. That's a good one to end on. And, our last little bit of Pisces season, y'all.
Yeah. I love water lilies. They're so beautiful. Every time I encounter them in the wild, it feels like a moment to connect with nature. Yeah, it's magical.
Yeah. And that's what I love about plants. That's why I actually really had fun doing this one. Because it also was like, ooh, girl, what you gonna get now? Because I'm like looking through these plants and I'm like, okay, maybe I could take care of this one. Because like Coral said, get a plant like that you can take care of, kind of like get a pet you can take care of. It's almost the same thing. I talk to my plants. They all have names. Just saying, like, they are living, breathing, just like we are. So, so we're about to hit it to these audience questions. If you guys have any other questions, though, please drop them in the chat. We do have a few, but if you drop some in the chat while we're live, we will talk to you because you're here with us right now. Why not?
That's right. We want to talk to you, babies. Mm-hmm. So I think our first question is from email, and it is where you at? The question.
It was, you know what it was?
I don't have the exact wording.
Do I still feel the effects of the full moon once it has waned and transitioned into another sign? So after the Virgo full moon, it will go into Libra. And it won't be a full moon, but it will go into Libra. So I think that's what the question was.
That's
So,
right. And where do you stand with this today? How do you think about this?
so okay, so here's the thing about full moons. You feel the effects, period. No matter if it's still in that sign or not, you feel the effects because it's so full and the energy is high. And it only loses it's only a full moon for like not very long, a very short amount of time. This time it comes in at like 3:17 in the morning. So it'll be at its fullest. That's really what that full moon says. But the effects will probably feel through probably most of the weekend. And it'll change probably by the time it gets to, you know, Libra, it'll go past that. But I really feel like you're going to feel the effects just because it's a full moon and it transitioning into another sign doesn't really change how much. What you think?
I would agree with that. I think that harmony or disharmony you feel with the full moon has very much to do with how all the energy is in the rest of the sky, how your own energy is, the energy of the people around you. So I think when we find out the full moon is in a particular sign, and especially examine where the other planets are in the sky, like this, we know we really need to be thinking about the things that are going on in the things that Virgo and Pisces represent, because there are so many planets in Pisces that are directly opposed to the full moon in Virgo, which is the moon is the closest influence on us here on Earth. As Coral just went through and explained, it affects water every single day. Our bodies are like 70% water. You know, we are too affected by this. So what are those tensions? Reality versus illusion. And what can I analyze and think about, and what do I need to dream about? And the full moon, I think, is a time to just acknowledge that everybody's energy is heightened. If you notice particular tensions in the areas that I just spoke about, the Virgo and Pisces arena, work with those. If it's something that's bothering you, try and release it. Full moons are a good time to release things. At the top of the show mentioned, it's a good time to manifest something big if you have something particular in mind. But a full moon is a potent magic. So don't work with it if you're not fully prepared for the reverberations and effects. Make sure you've thought all the way around your spell. If you're going to try and manifest something big, make sure you also ground yourself and you ask for protection, and you really are coming to your magical space from a cleansed mental state. Full moons,
I was going to say, like, a very conscientious state. Like when you work with the energies of the full moons and things like that, you want to make sure that you're clear. And as we talked about in Pisces right now, it may not be the case. So make sure that you have a little more clarity behind what you're really like seeking, looking for. Red Jones I Am says, so this Virgo moon, what should I be cultivating while this moon is in effect? Look at him.
I know, I love that.
Well, we do know that Mr. Red Jones I Am is also a Virgo sun. And I do feel as though for him especially, he's going to probably, and a Pisces moon, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
He is going to definitely feel all of the feels and all of the pulls. And I think that especially for a Virgo, grounding themselves in quiet and peace and just stop thinking, stop analyzing, just stop. Because that mercurial energy mixed with all that Neptune is just confusing. So just, I would say, you know what? Take a nice bath and put some herbs or leaves in that bath with you to get you grounded and cleansed. Take a salt. I mean, really just kind of like be one with you and find the earth energy that's clear and not the Neptune energy that's cloudy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think what a Virgo on a Virgo full moon, such as this one, would be good to be cultivating is peace and awareness of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, we're in the throes of Pisces season. We have Pisces in Neptune staring at the Virgo full moon, challenging everything you think you can analyze and making it shift before your eyes. So stay in your body and also use your body to try and analyze things. You know how sometimes you get a feeling like one really good piece of writing advice I read was when you get excited about a story, if you feel a physical feeling, write that down. So I was working on a story and I kept getting like a hot feeling between like my heart and my throat. And when I was struggling with that story, I would try and remember that physical feeling. And if I was writing and working and I started to feel that feeling again, I knew I was on the right track. So pay attention to the signals you're getting from your body in these days. Like if somebody says something to you and it feels this way or it feels, pay attention to that. Maybe don't act on it. You don't have to react to everything. And full moons aren't a great time to just react to everything, but pay attention to it and let yourself go back to that later when it comes up again, and it surely will.
I will tell you this. I remember, and it's odd that but I remember that usually I've had experiences where things have been revealed to me on a full moon. I didn't even ask for them. Like, I was like, oh. And the universe is like, hey, girl, just in case you didn't know. It's like, I mean, I did, but thanks for the confirmation. And it's usually, and like you said, those feelings, I'm like, oh my God, my body is telling me something ain't right. And if we think about it, like you said, listen to your body. Around this time 2 years ago, the Virgo full moon, we were all thinking about how our bodies and the earth was affecting us. And, so the same themes tend to come around the same times of year. And it's just remembering where you were and then how much progress you've made. And progress does not have to be measured in it's been a year, I should be here. Progress should say, am I better than I was before? Have I not repeated some of the same things? Have I seen other things and been clearer on a lot of things? And, we're all just one day at a time, like I said, but I definitely am here for that Virgo full moon.
I think it's really powerful too to have a full moon so close to the spring equinox. It doesn't always shake out that way. Like sometimes it would be like the Pisces new moon and then the equinox, and then we'd get like we would have gotten the Virgo full moon earlier. So it's just interesting to have them that close together. And I think they work well together. Let's release what's not working.
Absolutely. And I think that's what I was going to say. Like, I think it also helps because of the transition between Pisces season and Aries season. Because like we said, you're going from mutable water to carnal fire. And I think the Virgo full moon is like, hey, you don't need none of that shit. You starting anew. You know what I mean? Whatever you thought in Pisces, and you're like, oh my God, this was so cool. And then the Virgo full moon's like, hold up. Okay. Just like, okay. I'm just saying. So I think, so I want to thank everybody for being present with us. I want to thank everybody that hops in and out of the chat. Appreciate you sharing your energy with us. We enjoy sharing our energy with y'all, but we will be saging. Because it's also a full moon, and it's height. We height.
Yeah.
So
get your crystals out and let them charge under the full moon's light, guys.
That is a big yes. I haven't done that in a while. I probably should do that. But the weather's been so finicky, girl, But like Cassie said, charge them crystals. Send us any questions. We're always ready to answer questions, no matter if it's a Thursday Q&A or a Sunday. But we will see you again this Sunday for another show with a guest on the spring equinox. And I want you guys to really like find some peace tonight. Like, even if like 5 minutes of time to yourself, 15 minutes here and there, but really like find a sense of peace just for a minute. I think that you'll feel better. So, Cassie asked me to pull out of my decks a thought-provoking oracle, if you will. And so I have chosen the Starseed Oracle. And this is from Rebecca Campbell and artwork by Danielle Noel. These are cards that they give you a definite time for pause and really a good self-reflection, which I think, as we know, for a Virgo full moon, that's amazing. Self-reflection is the best way to kind of find out where your center is. And in a full moon, I think that's a good time. So we're going to find one of these.
And all of us are having, I don't know, maybe, I don't want to speak for everybody. I'm feeling scattered. I want something to unlock some of this fog here. So I thought, let's get something that's going to give us a chance to ask ourselves a question. We may not, this feels like one of those times where you don't know the question to ask yourself.
This is actually amazing. Okay. It always happens. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys in just a second. I promise. Okay. This says, you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, and community. Those are the 3 things written on here. And what I love about this card is that we have to always remember we're not alone. So, the Starseed Soul Inquiry question for this card is, how can you reach out to people in your life physically? So I know it's been difficult for a lot of physical contact and things like that with everything that's going on. But, you can reach out physically in other ways. So I would say take the time and really reach out to the people that you are really close to and that you love, and remind them and remind yourself you're not alone, right? Your community is what you make it. I mean, me, Coral, and Cassie, we're our own little coven.
Yeah, that's such an interesting, because we also just talked about how, a couple years ago around this time was the beginning of the pandemic, and now we're all navigating a endemic, whatever it is. We're going to live with this, and we're figuring out life again. And so, yeah, I think, and again, and kind of staying in tune with your bodies, like, if the weather is permitting, even if it's like only barely permitting, if you can get outside and be in a park and just like see other people and remember that their physical bodies exist, and let your physical body exist in whatever feels comfortable and safe for you, but still a physical human proximity, that seems like really valuable advice right now. So,
for sure. And I feel
that.
like, it's taught us that human connection is more important than we thought.
Yeah.
And I like what underscore Bilvis said. He said, time to reach out to the person you have not checked in on in a while. And I wholeheartily agree with that. It's always the people that you haven't talked to or checked in with a while that, they want to be reminded. So that was a good one.
Yeah. Thank you to Coral for coming on and educating us about the moon cycles and plants. We're going to have posts about that so that you can learn more. And that was very fun to speak about. And may all of your plant babies this year be so blessed and flourish.
Absolutely. And thank you to everybody who's been shouting out in the chat, giving us compliments. Thank you. Gratitude. We appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you.
Me and Cassie love that people love us, right? We are here for it. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell your peoples. We are getting close to our goal. People, ladies and gents, all the people in the chat.
Keeping it pushing.
Please, loving soul spirits and beings, go hit it. Just hit the subscribe button. We just need it. Hey, it is in our Zodiac Chatline link bio, so you can just click that link right there. Hit that red subscribe button. You with us. Also, we are on Spotify and what's the other
Google
one?
Podcasts. I'm
So-
working on Apple. We'll see. Gotta figure some stuff out.
So listen, you don't have to just watch us. You can listen. So just trying to make it happen. Cassie, as always, wouldn't do this without you because we're not going to.
Amen.
Thank you
I love
so
you,
much.
girl.
I love you, girl. It's all love, y'all.
Peace.